Making pizza is a fantastic way of saving money. You get all the toppings you want, all the great flavors, homemade, thin, crispy base, and it's a lot cheaper than buying shop bought. Stick with me, I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so to start, I've got 300 grams of strong bread flour, and I've got 200 ml of water and a teaspoon of dried yeast, which I've just melted up in the water here. So into the flour, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, and I'm just going to add a teaspoon of sugar in with the yeast and the water. The sugar helps activate the yeast, which is about room temperature. You don't want cold water. Right, I'm just going to go straight in with the water there. I'm just going to get my hands in and give it a mix up. A tablespoon and a half of olive oil. For more information about this recipe, just check out the description box. Just going to dust my surface with a little flour, not too much. I'm just going to knead the dough. The more you knead the dough, the more you work the gluten, the better the dough. Top tip. Okay, so the dough is looking ready. And just leave it to rest for 5 to 10 minutes. I don't want it to really rise very much because I'm looking for a thin, crispy base. But I want to give it a little bit of time for the yeast to activate and work. So just leave that in a warm place. Okay, so my dough has had a couple of minutes to relax, about 10 minutes. And it's just given a chance for the yeast to work. And it hasn't really enlarged that much, but it's softened a bit and it's basically gotten really, really stretchy, as you can see. So I'm going to dust my surface down nicely. So we're ready to roll it out. So I'm just going to separate this into half. Pop that bit down. Moving the dough the whole time, you want to take the rolling pin to the middle of the piece of dough and push outwards, like so. So from the middle, you push down. I love pizza because it reminds me of all the really, really lovely trips I've taken to Italy. Really good quality pizzas that come out of the oven, wonky, oozing, dripping with cheese, looking kind of, I don't know, homemade, fresh, like real pizzas. Right, so I like a thin, crispy base. So I'm going to try and roll this out to about the thickness of a £1 coin. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to use my rolling pin, just dust my rolling pin, and I'm just going to roll the pizza up onto it to make it easier to transport over to my greased baking tray. So for this one, I'm going to go with a really simple tomato and mozzarella topping. I'm going to scatter over a few olives on top, but really straightforward, a bit of basil, fresh, margherita style. And for my other pizza, I'm going to go for a slightly less conventional topping, red onion, goat's cheese, and fresh rocket. So for my tomato sauce, I'm using tomato puree. You can use passata, you can use chopped tomatoes, you can use any kind of tomato you want. This is just the easiest way. So I've got 4 tablespoons of tomato puree in here and a couple of tablespoons of water. And to that, I'm going to add 1 clove of garlic, which I'm going to mash up. A little bit of salt. I'm going to quickly run my knife through it. And I use the side of my knife to just kind of mash it up and just turn it into a really nice pulp. Just get that all off my board, that delicious garlic flavour. Straight into my tomato puree. I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half or 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Nice extra virgin olive oil. It's already smelling very promising. And also a level teaspoon of oregano. I just need to season this with a little salt. Okay, and this is the base for my tomato pizza ready. So all I have to do is spoon it over. For more recipes in my Tasty Tenner series, just click the subscribe button. Or if you like my recipes and the food I'm making, check out my YouTube channel. So now I've got 2 tomatoes, which I'm just going to scatter over, just to add a bit of fresh tomato flavour. I've got 1 nice big ball of mozzarella here, which I'm just going to rip up and dot over. Just so melty, it's delicious. There we go. Just going to add a few basil leaves to finish off. Just dot them about on top. I love fresh basil, and it's nice when it cooks down. A nice drizzle of olive oil on top. So I've got 2 garlic cloves. I'm just going to give them a bash. And I'm going to use the same method again. Give them a quick chop through. I'm just going to mash them up. So to my board, I'm just going to add some olive oil. Just a nice couple of tablespoons. I'm going to carry on mashing my garlic into it. This is just to give the oil a really good garlicky flavour because it's going to be the base for my pizza. Push the garlic and the oil over the pizza base, and I'm going to add some more olive oil. So this is about half a red onion, which I finely sliced, going on top. Okay, and to that, I have my beautiful wheel of goat's cheese, which I'm just going to pull apart with my fingers. Look how soft it is. I'm going to add some fresh parsley, just a nice light scattering of it, a generous amount of pepper, and then finally just a nice drizzling of olive oil. So my pizza's oven ready. I've preheated my oven to 250 degrees, so it's super, super hot. And I'm just going to add my pizzas in. So you know they're ready when the sides have gotten hard, but they're still soft in the middle. You don't want them to get too crispy. Just a little more parsley on top. And I've got some rocket here, which I've added a little olive oil to and a squeeze of lemon. Just going to give that a little mix. And I'm just going to add that on top of this one, just for a little extra green freshness. There we are. So I'm just going to go and enjoy my pizza. I'll see you next time for another episode of my Tasty Tennis series.